This is take 2. I'll explain that later. And sheep have been pushing me around. That was very nearly a take 3. Now, the difference is, if I fail to open my inventory, because the fact that controls... Oh, that's new. The fact that inventory is opened with I for some reason hasn't changed. In Alpha 1.2, it's regular... Well, the inventory button is I, and if you change it to E, it resets every time you open up Minecraft, even though it doesn't do that for previous versions. It's just Alpha 1.2, probably just 1.2.6. I'm not sure, but the sole thing that has changed is I can no longer... Oh, things have names! I like beta Minecraft. I can no longer leave things in my crafting slot, though, which is really It's not too bad, because Minecraft doesn't have an inventory issue yet. It's not stack bread, though. But look, things have names. I'm going to go find some sulfur. On the basis of it's called sulfur in this version of Minecraft. I don't know why. It makes more sense if it's gunpowder, but it's just called sulfur. The chest texture is still weird. Top of furnaces, still sewn. That still looks only moderately cool. Oh! Leaf decay mechanics have been added. I don't know how good they are, but they've been added, and that's going to be real helpful. Now, in here, sulfur! This was changed, I think, in a beta version, not too long after it was changed to sulfur, but still, it's cool. And now I have this permanently recorded. I have videographic evidence in case anyone who hasn't played beta Minecraft ever tries to doubt me. Don't know why I would need... Oh, what's the other one? I was about to say, I don't know why I would need this, but I've realised it's another thing. Another thing? I trap myself. I have trapped. Look, doors are difficult, okay? Especially when my computer decides to lag. Please. I can throw the eggs now. Didn't do anything, but I can throw them. Now, I think in order to be productive, I perhaps shouldn't focus quite so much on throwing eggs at things. I should focus on finding... Actually, hang on. You don't get a tooltip when you change inventory slot, though. That is interesting, so it's just... You can hover over the... I'm getting distracted. I think what I'll work on is probably a bit of planning, because this is going fairly well, but I think this base could be a bit neater. Build something up here as well. Build something up here. Sort of road this way. I shouldn't be planning this out here because I'm just going to forget. There isn't spectator mode. I think if I pillar up, then I'll be able to take a picture, and then I'll be able to start working out what my plan should be. Because I like a nice sort of plan view for my plans. Right, slight change of plans. I cannot actually go high enough to get all of the base in one picture, though I suppose if I sort of hold down the shift button, go this way. Is that? Oh, that's unnerving, and I know if I let go of shift I'm going to fall. I could sort of get a good perspective like this, but So, beta Minecraft, the build limit is still 128 blocks, which is fine. You get a nice view from up here. It's not quite what I had hoped for. I suppose I'll have to give a more perspective-based view of my plans. From this direction, I don't know which it is. It's where the sun rises and then more towards the wet bit. Yeah. Basically just sort of wall, terraform, road to spawn, 2 gates potentially, buildings there, not sure when. Next slide, please. Now, the actual main sort of city centre area. Terraforming, road, more buildings, maybe a small garden next to my current hovel, larger garden next to the tree, definitely a waterfall for cool terraforming. And then, on the third side of my base, which is facing away from the wets, just sort of bridge, and then the other hill, which I will just sort of take over, should be relatively safe with some terraforming. I don't think I need to build any walls. I'll just use that for agriculture. Also, few buildings. And some terraforming. Okay. I haven't started working on the expansions to my village yet, but what I have done is put stairs all the way from the bottom of my mine. Let's just stop here, make a pillar there, because otherwise I'm going to go around that corner wrongly, and it will slow me down. All the way from the bottom of my mine, all the way down there. If you sort of squint and say you believe, you can almost see it. Wait, no, that's fairies. No, fairies is if you clap your hands and believe. Point being, all the way from the bottom of the mine, not pictured, to up here a bit more, yeah. To this, my starter house. Now, it's not the most direct path. I think at some point I will make a new mine. Probably where I'll put it is, I'm reckoning, base of that hill there. And what? Because then I can actually, probably about there-ish, and then I can make it look nice. There's a cave there. I probably don't want to use that cave because that's slightly higher above sort of main ground level. But next clip, I will start working on at least some sort of a plan. Well, I already have a plan. Some sort of plan that's actually, here. So, not the plan at all. I will start... Well, sort of the plan. I will start having the plan be here instead of on the picture. What I was originally thinking was, maybe I should make these walls with a sort of gradient in. Sort of like... Hang on. That tower up there. You know what that tower looks like. I've shown it on video countless times. And by countless times, I mean at least 3 times. I can't count higher than that. Well, I can. But it's a joke, never mind. But I'm not sure whether a gradient would do quite so well here, because I'm not sure whether there's enough space for it to really look its best. Now, maybe if I'm going to level this out a bit, then it would make sense, because this bit here is much higher than the surrounding lawn, so what I might do, sort of make this a tad lower, but not that much lower, just like a bit lower, so when I claim all of this land and sort of fortify it properly, it makes sense. Like, this isn't... Well, I mean, that's going to be a hill. The whole thing is generally a hill, but this bit will probably be lower, and then I'll have enough space to make a gradient there, and it will look nice. And there will definitely be proper towers. I'm thinking what I might do here is sort of make that a stone tower, make that another stone tower, and then you have 2 stone towers and a gate. Or I might go with wooden towers, I'm not sure. Though I think that 3 wide is definitely the way to go here. And while I'm pondering what to do about that, I'm just going to quickly block that off because it's getting dark. It's not getting dark now, but it will be dark soon. And this is a good place to leave off and start figuring out where this road is going to be. It has been said of plawning that plawning is of great importance, but plawns themselves are often of very little importance. But also, there's a flaming zombie on that tree. I did not put the zombie there, I don't know how it got there. This is why we light things up and fortify them. Though this is also beta behaviour, so I'm not sure what we can expect here. But ignore that. About the plawns. I'm doing some thinking. It's always a dangerous thing for me to say. First off, I've encapsulated this whole area. I think that's... I was going to say, I might not get all of the area that I plan to get, but I think this is... no, this isn't all of it. Fairly sure that the plan also involves... I can get up here. Going as far as thought, but this is probably just as good a place to cut off. It seems a bit more logical. It's more hilly. Vaguely. It could work. Like, what I could do is have a more sort of 3D city. Walls here. Road up that way. Gates here-ish? Gate here-ish. And then you have, like, buildings there, and they're built into the wall, sort of an angle, such that the top of the wall is also the top of the buildings. Hello, Mr. Pig. Now, the other bit of planning that I've had to change a bit, mind you, maybe if I just terraform this, like, that area into more of a slope, because that would be really easy. Anyway, getting sidetracked. I'm going to get sidetracked again, because now that this place is cordoned off and also fully lit up, this is officially open. Path will continue shortly. The path, that's what I wanted to talk about. I reckon it's going quite well. I've started putting in these wall outlines to show where the buildings are. I'm going to tear them down when I realise that I don't want the buildings to look like that, but that's a different issue. Also, about the walls, I don't think I'm going to do them in the gradient as I originally suggested. The gradient being gradient of that building over there, of course, cobblestone, gravel, stone, because A, that bit of resources is not that much, really. B, I don't think it looks that good, and perhaps most importantly, C, those are, like, the only grey... There's that as well. There are 4 grey textures. There's cobblestone, there's gravel, there's smooth stone, regular stone, and then there are the stone slabs. The path already utilises 3 of those, and I think it looks fairly good. There's going to be a lot of cobblestone in the buildings unless I go with wood, which I probably will. There isn't likely to be much brick because clay is difficult to find before rivers exist. Yes, I know there are rivers, I just need to go beyond the alpha lands, but that's work. Translation, I'm going to be doing that next week, because I've been doing a lot of work, e.g. all of that, and all of the mining to get several chests worth of stone. Several chests worth of stone not guaranteed, but there's a limited number of textures, is my point here. I'm thinking I might stick with the walls being 1 texture of stone, the buildings being probably the same texture with a bit more wood in. There will be some wood in the walls. They'll have oak pillars every once in a while, and probably also towers made of logs. Wait, shoot, no, oak doesn't exist yet. They'll have wooden pillars. Yes, yes. No hinting. I can't do that 3D texture with the wood with the stone walls yet because stone walls don't exist, and that thing was added in Minecraft 1.16 of the full release. So yeah. But the other very important thing I was trying to get to, I don't know how long this clip has been at this point. It's at least 5 minutes of me getting sidetracked. That describes every time I try to talk. So, don't know. But this area here, I've learnt first off that I will have to build some form of defensive fortifications. I can't rely on the landscape to do that because it actually connects over there to that bit of land, round the back to the other bit of land. Basically, it's only safe here, which is bad because that's the bit where I want to get in. So I will need to do some fortifications there. But in terms of this being agricultural land, this seems like, based off of geography, one of two things. Either it was invaded a second, which I guess makes sense, but I don't like it because the second idea was this area here is important to whoever is making the city. Because I got bored and decided, you know what, this build should have a story behind it. So I'm going to say that this hill is culturally significant, because just from the design, it's the thing you get too lost going through the city, unless you're going the wrong way through it. It's pretty heavily fortified, and it's just separate from everything else. So that means either it shouldn't be agricultural, or agriculture is very important to the people who make this castle. Now, the logical thing to do is say, alright, it's not going to be agricultural, it's going to be temples and such, and then just outside those walls over there, or maybe within them, there'll be agriculture. But quartz doesn't exist yet, and it won't exist for a long time, and I'm not going to find snow to make a sort of quartz aesthetic. So, and I still can't face the camera, so this is as good as it gets. Actually, hang on. There, see, you can see my face now. Except for the mouse. The mouse is in the way. There. So, what we're doing is, in terms of lore, agriculture is very important to these people. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like they're the breadbasket of this area of the world, or something. And as such, their economy is focused towards agriculture, and it's important they defend agriculture. Agriculture is an important part of life. Also, this will allow me to come up with more lore later. You don't get to know about the more lore later, because it will come much later, and mostly it's a retcon of previous lore. Which... Did I have... Let me just check. No, none of the previous lore was ever made public, so... Yeah, you get to learn about that the long way round. I get to learn about that by forgetting about it in the future, and then someone reminding me that I said I'd do that. So, suppose the next step is to go over there, fortify the area, maybe do some landscaping, and make a nice bridge. You know what? Let's do the nice bridge, like, relatively soon. Probably fortify that, chop down a few trees, leave that generally for the time being, and make the bridge. Yes, this is a good plan. So here's the butcher's bill. I was blown up. Not once, as you can tell from the crater there, but twice. Where's the other crater? Here. One of them was fatal, and of course it was the one even further from spawn. For those of you keeping track at home, that's a total of 1 death. Because A, I haven't actually recorded any of the times I've died in the series yet, because my computer, quite frankly, lags enough as is. Recording would make it worse, and it's already a dangerous situation. Also, I've actually forgotten, for me, keeping track at home, that's probably about half a dozen. Don't any of you remember that, by the way. That's for me to remember. On the plus side, I now have this other hill completely enclosed, pretty well lit up. Fairly well, I'd say. Is this worth getting exploded? Yes, because there's no XP yet, so I have lost nothing. Except a bit of dignity, and let's be honest, I didn't have much of that to begin with. I joke. Light this up as well. Okay, that was close. I really shouldn't be lighting this up during the day because I can't see whether things need lighting, but also I think I've proven I shouldn't be lighting this up at night neither, because then I just get exploded and ruin my streak of however many days it's been since I last died. Now, all I need to do for this episode is build the bridge, and lo and behold! Goodness me, I forgot! That bush is right next to it. This is not the final bridge. Don't riot. How am I going to build? Do stone bricks exist yet? I feel like stone bricks would do wonders for this style of build, because I'm just thinking like a simple thing, cross, an arch, if you want to pronounce it that way, which is weird. It has an H in it. We're going to use the H. We paid good money for that H. It's worth 5 points in Scrabble. Yeah, I need to go build that bridge. And just like that, the bridge is finished. Yes, I know you can't see the bridge from here. That was intentional. I wanted to do like a clever, oh, here's the bridge. Well, here's the perspective of the bridge before I did it, and here's the same perspective after I built it. Then I realised that I had already built the bridge. I thought that was funny personally, I don't know about you. So, this is an important lesson about, like, camera work, etc, etc. When you're doing, like, anything that you think, oh, that's cool, plan things out ahead of time, work out what you're going to do, and then do them. For example, if I want to talk about the bridge, I should start walking towards the bridge while talking, instead of talking about the bridge and then being nowhere near it, which is just confusing. Anyway, I'm quite proud of the bridge personally. Like, yeah, it is just stone. The slabs are a nice touch. They add sort of like a castle-y effect. I would have done full blocks akin to what I did up at the top of the tower, except it just seemed a bit much, especially here where I used wood. I do like the wood pillars. I'm just wondering if they're a bit much because they go all the way down. Probably fine. Don't look there. That's the bit I didn't texture. And you can sort of get like a sneak peek of what the whole thing looked like before I realised, oh yeah, this should have some texture. Because there are no stone bricks yet. There's mossy cobblestone, but no moss. I don't think there are vines neither, so I couldn't do it all out of cobblestone and then put in some mossy bits. So there are few options for variation or repeated structure. I just realised I could have built like that using slabs, but it probably wouldn't have looked all that good. Actually, so this was accidental. I referred to these blocks as slabs. These are the only slabs in the game thus far. More you know. Anyway, so this bridge is complete, fine. This is far from all of the plotting. I still need to do a good chunk of building over there, good chunk of building over here. What I'm thinking is I'm going to level this, build some agriculture. That is what I will do. Yeah. Unfortunately, I do not have time to do anything else because I have a video to edit. I also have to finish this episode. Because I don't actually know when this episode and the other video I was talking about are going to be released. This isn't going to be like some sort of post-promotion or spoiler, it's just going to be like the 5th fairly poor time travel joke of this series. So, yeah. But still, nothing worse. Nope. I still can't look at the camera properly. Things cannot be worse. Well then, thank you for watching, and since things can't be worse, panic, I guess? Seems a sensible thing to do under the circumstances. Good day.